What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be playing a little Crunch in the Jungle. As always, let's go over the deck first. Now, for my gems, I have Auto Health Potion, Fast Travel, Mana Generator, Jungle Life Steal, Armored, and lastly, Damage Return. Now, I've picked Chaos and Growth for my affinities, but I don't get to try out all the cards. I start out with Demolitionist, Exoskeleton, and Living Guardian. And then I follow that up with Green Spring, Sand Speeder, Growth Totem, which I don't actually get to, Vital Waters, which is a great card, Heavy Hitter, Thunder Cleaver, which I try to rush, Vengeful Mare, Nuke Blood Mutant, and lastly, One of the Tribe. Now, Crunch has always been one of my favorite heroes, and I don't think he's the strongest jungler out there, or starts out as the strongest jungler, but he's a great hero. Once you get that ultimate and you can knock people up, and if you see my thumbnail, yeah, and I mean, he's just so good. I really enjoy playing Crunch, although I kind of have felt that his animations seem off, and since version 42 came out, his punching, once you really upgrade him a lot, it seems like he does 1, 2, 3, and then it's a very long, slow delay on that fourth hit, which that might just be me not registering it right, but I kind of feel that he almost slows down the more once you really start stacking agility on. That could just be me, like I said, but this build I'm going to try to kind of build him a little more tanky, which I have been playing with him with Chaos and Death, where I put on Veil Slipper or Veil Stepper and just, hit someone to the moon right away, from the shadows, and I really enjoy that. But I wanted to kind of try Growth and see if I can just build him a little more tanky. Now, I do have to say that in the jungle, lately I've noticed a lot of people engaging in fights very early, and as the jungler, until I hit level 2, I'm basically useless, and really for Crunch, level 5 is when I can really start, swinging fights the right way. But at the same time, I do not see rotating before you even pick up your green buff, just because, you're taking away from farm, and I would really like to go help out our off lane right now, but he ends up just pushing entirely too far, and, it's 3 minutes into the match. Why should you be at half health so far? But it's kind of just the pace of version 42. Now, I am planning on making a jungling guide, or the way I like to jungle in version 42. I do play a lot differently than I used to. I used to always gank off lane, and I find myself going for mid now more. Now, I do use that green buff to hopefully get a gank on that Zinx, because you really have to shut Zinx down. Zinx is one of those heroes that once she hits 5, she's really hard to deal with. She might not kill you, but she can keep you from pushing objectives. So I really like to just make my presence known and get some damage on her when I can. Now, I did end up picking up the Invis, and I'm going to go in on this twin. Hopefully we can get a kill here, and luckily our Fang did notice, hey, what was going on. He did try to rotate, but, I wish we wouldn't have chased this. I'm just going to go ahead and try to take care of this Narbash and hope Fang can secure that kill. Unfortunately, he didn't, and Narbash ends up taking him out, which, that's very unfortunate. We should not have chased that kill. He should have just let Twin go, and we could have turned on that Narbash and took him out. But hey, no big deal. We got a kill. An offlaner for support is not always the best, but we forced both of them out of lane, and that's off to a great start. Now, in my personal opinion, the jungler is now almost the most important role in the early game. Not because of ganking, but because of the farm. Getting these points, since we are in such a burst-heavy meta right now, getting enough cards to put on your power cards is just key. I've played a lot of mid lane lately, and whoever puts on that first power card is the one that dominates mid lane. And it's kind of the same for your support as well. If your support can actually get a couple of cards early, that's great. That's a huge advantage that your ADC will have over that offlaner. So I really see the jungler's job has really kind of rotated towards less ganks, more farm. And although, I have been in lane twice so far this match, and I've secured a river buff and everything like that, I really feel that securing these river camps is kind of my job. And you can see here, our Fang, he could use some assistance, but at the same time, I want to finish off this 5-stack, go back, put a couple of cards on, and come back healthy. Now, I have just hit level 5, so I finally got my ultimate online. Hopefully we can use this to make some great plays. Now, once I leave my tower, I'm going to go help out my off lane. One thing, I've always kind of neglected the safe lane, and that's something that I'm really going to have to try to break. Since I have been playing ADC a lot more, I do know that without a gank, it can be very hard to take down that tower. But, nonetheless, I'm currently going in on this Twin Blast that was kind of unsuspecting. We're able to close that gap and really crank out some damage. Now, I'm not going to worry about this Narbash. He's at half health. I've barely got any mana left. I just don't really see wasting any more time on him. The only way I could have closed that gap was to use my forward crunch, which would have knocked him into the tower since I had my ultimate ready. So I'm just going to leave him. I ping retreat to tell Fang, hey, I'm not helping you out. And I'm going to just continue to try to get some farm. Now, it is at 7 minutes, so I'm going to go check that river buff, and luckily it is the purple. So, since I do get into that shadow plane, I'm going to look for, an easy pick that maybe I can change how things are happening somewhere. Now, Zinx is in mid. She does currently have black buff, but I'm not too worried about that. Gideon's here. We're able to, go in on this Zinx. Unfortunately, I miss my ultimate, which, that's unfortunate, but it's very easy to miss things with Crunch because the range of his attacks is very deceiving. So, hey, she got away with that, and I'm just going to go back and continue to farm. Now, I do end up cleaning out the entire safe lane jungle side, but, it's boring. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. But if you notice here, I am not using any mana at all to clear out these camps, and that's key for all y'all jungle heroes. Sevarog's really the only hero out there that should be using mana to clear camps because it does benefit him. But someone like Crunch, if you drain all your mana clearing camps, you're not going to have any mana at all to engage in a fight. And if you see here, we end up going in on this Zinx, and luckily, since I did have enough mana, I am able to get a hit on her. Me and Gideon, we worked out in a really great combo. I'm able to go ahead and dive her since I do have my green, and we're able to get a kill on her. Now, if you saw, I did slow her down right at the end so we would be able to actually get that kill. And luckily, Gideon is on point with his rocks, so we end up cleaning up that kill, and he's been absolutely able to bully Zinx, which, if you did not know, that's really the only way to deal with Zinx. Just bully her as much as you can. Keep up the pressure, and when you start damaging her, keep damage on her. Now, I do end up trying to go in right there. I end up forward crunching right into the wall because I'm awful. But, the only reason I went in right there was I wanted to keep Gideon alive. Honestly, I think a mid laner staying alive, especially a burst caster like Gideon, is much more important than keeping a jungler alive, and someone like Countess could absolutely delete him. So, I've got a better chance of surviving, And even if I don't survive, at least he didn't die. So I wouldn't say I'm exactly sacrificing myself for him, but I want to do everything I can to make sure he survives. Now I head to mid lane. We kind of had a little rotation here, and I'm just going to try to keep pressure up. And now I'm going to head to that off lane side to see if we can make some progress there. Gideon's over there, but I hear Seraph in her jungle, so I'm going to go ahead and bully Seraph. Now, one thing about Crunch is he can just absolutely manhandle Seraph. You know, if you see here, she had green buff, and I'm still able to kill her. Unfortunately, I end up dying, but you can see there, I am able to take her out, even though she had green buff. You know, if I would have had a power card on, it would have been much, much easier, but as of right now, I don't have a power card, but, you know, I definitely want to shut down any of their heroes that I can. They do have a very aggressive team with a Countess, a Zinx, and a Seraph. They're all very late game heroes. So if I can keep them shut down, it is completely worth it, because this will allow my team to, you know, put pressure elsewhere without having to worry about these heroes that need all this farm. You know, and that's really one thing that has completely changed in version 42. You never used to see 2 assassins on a team, but if you did, you would go, oh, that team's gonna lose. Or a team with 3 ADCs, or, you know, like a Countess, Morgesh, Seraph, Wukong, and a Muriel. I've actually seen a team like that before, and you would never see teams like that. So team comp has really kind of changed completely. It's really more about counter plays and counter cards than it is about actually picking for comp, it seems like. Now, these matches that I'm in are typically just me and one other person, or like this match I'm currently in, I'm a completely solo player. So, you know, it might be different in teams with 5 people, of course. You know, they're going to work together, and they can kind of base their kits on what each other are going to do. But with limited communication, it's very possible to see teams with 4 assassins, and, you know, it is kind of crazy. Now, we are able to go in on this Twin Blast. He was kind of poking at me, and I guess he just underestimated how much I am able to move. Gideon ends up getting that kill on Narbash, which is great. I wasn't going to chase. I'm low on mana. There's nothing I can really do but take this tower down, and luckily I was able to do that. Now, from here, I'm going to go ahead and head to mid lane. I really want to get back into the jungle and farm. I have not actually cleared camps. They're all at 5 stacks currently. But, you know, we are engaging quite a bit as a team. And if you see here, I'm actually going to head this way. I was thinking Seraph was going to loop around. She ends up actually running around the other side of Prime. So I was just heading that way to make sure we secured that kill. Luckily, they were able to take care of it without me, so I'm going to head back to mid. Now, we've got a big team, you know, a big cluster of us right here in mid. It's the perfect time to push a tower. There's no reason at all for me to head into the jungle and farm when we can take out a tier 2. And luckily, we are able to take out that tier 2 very, very easily. Now, Seraph does try to head in here to do a little damage, but, you know, no big deal. Gideon does end up using his ultimate, which zones her out, which is a great use of his ultimate. You know, he was under tower and he started taking tower damage, but that kept her away from me and we were able to down that tower. So all in all, that was a great use. If there would have been a ranged hero there, he hopefully wouldn't have done that, but if he would have, you know, it'd have been game over for him. Luckily, things turned out great and we were able to down that tier 2 just at 16 minutes in. Now again, I want to get back into the farm, but you can see I'm having to rotate so much. I'm having a lot of lane presence this game, which I would definitely like to farm a little bit, but, you know, as long as we're protecting towers, we're doing fine. Our Fang is playing a little aggressive, which, you know, that's fine, as long as we're able to defend his area, and we are making progress. Now again, I do have 5 stacks everywhere, but they are putting pressure on this off lane, and Fang does engage, so I'm going to make my presence known. I head over there, I use my forward crunch twice, and I actually get a double knock up. Now, Twin splits off from Narbash, so me and Fang are going to chase him. Now, one great thing about 2 people chasing him is Narbash only has 1 stun, so we were definitely going to get that kill. Now, I'm going to pick up the purple buff again, and hopefully we can rotate somewhere and make another play. Now, if you see here, Seraph, she ends up heading into the jungle, and Narbash and Gideon, we all have just a massive rotation. We're able to take her out very, very easily. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, Arrg, that was clearly a rotation from good team, communication. No, we are actually not in a team at all. The Narbash and everybody else might be in a team, but I am a solo player. And you can just see by having map awareness, you are able to make great plays like this. And that is just really key to being successful in Paragon in general. Now, I did go in with green buff, and Twin Blast started shooting me, and that green buff, doing damage to him actually got me tower aggro, which honestly, I didn't think that happened. If it did happen, I've never paid attention to it. I don't know, but I've never really ran into that exact situation, I guess. But yeah, I did end up taking some tower damage. We weren't able to down that inhib, but hey, no big deal. We're still maintaining a lot of pressure. Now, once we head back in lane, I actually don't get to jungle yet again. I've got, we've got a massive rotation here in mid lane. Zinx unfortunately stunned me, and we make very short work of that Seraph right there. Twin gets caught out in this Narbash ultimate. We're able to take him down as well. Now, one thing about Zinx is, if you let her back off, she's going to be right back to mana, and you're not going to be able to do a whole lot. So I'm going to try to head in there, get a little damage on her. Now, I missed my knock-up, and I don't want to talk about that. But we are able to put some, damage on her and kind of scare her off a little bit. Gideon's able to just keep those rocks, and, that's the way to deal with Zinx. She does heal. If y'all weren't aware, she actually takes the full damage and then heals half. So, if you can actually hit her hard enough, let's say she's got 500 health, and you hit her for 501 damage, she will die, because she takes 500 damage and then heals for half of it. So, if you are able to do burst damage to her, it can kill her fairly easily. You just have to be able to output that damage. Now, I am finally able to get back into the jungle, but unfortunately someone has cleaned my jungle out. Hopefully it was my team. I'm not really sure who did it, but after that last engagement when I backed, I'm sure Twin or Fang, somebody, went to the jungle and cleaned it out. I have been completely neglecting it just because I've been in lane so much. And if you see here, heading back to lane, we are able to do a little damage. Unfortunately, Gideon's ult was just a little bit too high, and they were able to get away. We are able to do significant amount of damage to this Zinx, and yet again, Gideon gets her with that ultimate. We're able to take her out, and everything's good. Now, you might be confused there going, hey, Gideon just ulted twice, and I was too at the beginning, but I did go back and look in replay, and before his ultimate actually had time to fully start, Zinx stunned him. So, she stunned him and actually ended up dying for that stun. If she wouldn't have stunned him, that ultimate probably wouldn't have done anything, because it was pretty high up. But yeah, that's why Gideon ulted twice. There's no card that allows you to ult twice. She just stunned him before his ultimate actually took off. And, hey, that's great, because we ended up getting a kill for it. Now, I do head over to off lane. We did have a team collapse of theirs, and I'm going to try to make a play happen. Now, I do miss my knock-up, which, Twin was able to evade that. but Gideon is here to help out, get these kills. We secure that Narbash, and if you see, Countess is very, very low, but I am too, but I see she's out of mana, which I missed that hit again. Oh, don't judge me. But I was hoping that by engaging her, Gideon would be able to take her out before I died, but this also keeps her close. She didn't want to leave and, you know, risk letting me survive. Gideon was able to head over there, secure that kill. He ends up getting a triple kill, so we had just massive amounts of success with that. Now, after that play, my full team is just gonna march right down mid, and I say, you know what, like, they're going to be able to take care of that. They really don't need me there. I'm going to get a split push going, so I go ahead and head into our off lane, and while they're keeping pressure on that mid lane, I'm going to hopefully get this lane pushed, and maybe we can actually get another tower down. You know, this team that I'm playing with, even though, like I said, we're not really in a team, maybe they are, and, you know, we just played very, very well together. And I was really glad that I could take part in this match. I have not had just a friendly, helpful match where people are actually using the, you know, pinging system in-game. This was a just really enjoyable match for everybody. And on top of that, you know, we did great. So, you know, that was really good. And if any of y'all guys are in this team and you actually watch this video, hey, shout outs to you guys. I really enjoyed playing with y'all, and let me know, maybe we can actually play some more together. But this is going to kind of wrap it up. Unfortunately, the enemy team actually ends up surrendering. We don't get the win, but we are able to take out this Narbash right here. Now you see, I do stun him just to keep him off of our Narbash. I don't want to have too much damage under tower. We're able to take him out with another knockup, and yeah, right here is just kind of where they surrender. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.